Hi, I am Rename Ayaw Melanchan,
And I am Mary Dory Guerrero Tabigue.
and together we're going to discuss about the general theory of crime. Introduction and overview. The general theory of crime proposed by Gottfredson and Hershey in 1919 states that a crime is mainly caused by the low self-control combined with an opportunity to offend. So this theory is also known as the self-control theory that says crime mostly happen because a person has low self-control and there is an opportunity for them to commit a crime. The theory argues that individuals with low self-control, impulsive, risk-seeking, easily angered are more likely to commit crimes, while those with high self-control are better at resisting temptations. People who have low self-control usually act without thinking, take risks, and get angry quickly. Because of these traits, they are more likely to do something wrong or illegal, especially when they face temptation. Meanwhile, people with high self-control can pause, think first, and control their emotions. This helps them to avoid crime because they can resist temptations and stop themselves from acting impulsive. People avoid crime because of high self-control and ability to resist temptations. People stay away from crime when they have high self control, meaning they can manage their impulses and emotions. Because they can resist temptations, they are likely to give into opportunities to do something wrong or illegal. The general theory of crime developed by Godfredson and Hershey. According to this theory, crime and deviant behavior are mainly caused by a combination of individual traits, family influences, and situational opportunities. The elements shown in the diagram all contribute to a person's likelihood of engaging in crime and deviance. Impulsive personalities. One major factor linked to criminal behavior is having an impulsive personality. People who are impulsive tend to act quickly without thinking of the consequences, seek thrills and excitement, make decisions based on emotions rather than logic, have difficulty delaying gratification. Because impulsive individuals respond immediately to situations, they are more likely to commit crimes when an opportunity appears. They may take risks or engage in harmful actions simply because they do not pause to consider long term effects. In the general theory of crime, impulsiveness is seen as a sign of low self control, which increases the chances of criminal behavior. Low self control due to inadequate child learning practices. The theory emphasizes that self control is learned in childhood. Children develop self control when parents or guardians properly supervise them, recognize inappropriate behavior, discipline them in a consistent and understanding way. However, when children grow up in an environment where there is poor supervision, inconsistent discipline, neglect, lack of guidance, or emotional support, they fail to develop strong self control. As a result, they may grow into adults who struggle to manage anger, resist temptations, or consider consequences. This inadequate childhood learning creates a foundation to low self control, which the theory identifies as the strongest predictor of criminal and deviant behavior. Criminal opportunities. Even if a person has low self control or an impulsive personality, crime will not occur unless there is an opportunity. Opportunities can include unlocked houses or vehicles, unattended valuables, lack of witnesses, easy access to illegal goods or activities. The general theory of crime explains that people with low self control do not plan crimes carefully. Instead, they take advantage of immediate opportunities that are convenient or available. This means that crime often happens when a risky situation meets an impulsive person who cannot resist temptation. The presence of opportunities increases the chances that low self control individuals will act on their impulses. Weakening of social bonds. Social bonds refer to a person's connection to family, school, community, and society. These bonds influence behavior because they make individuals feel responsible to others. Strong social bonds encourage people to follow rules, respect authority, value relationships, and avoid harming others. But when a person's social bonds weaken or are never strongly formed, they may feel disconnected and less concerned about the expectations of others. This detachment from the community or family can lead to deviance. Since the person no longer feels tied to social norms, the weaker the bond, the less pressure there is to behave properly and avoid crime. How these factors lead to crime and deviance. In summary, the diagram shows that crime and deviance are not caused by random chance. Instead, they result from personal traits, childhood socialization, environmental factors, and lastly, social relationships. These elements together shapes a person's likelihood of breaking laws or engaging in deviant acts. The general theory of crime argues that low self-control, especially formed during childhood, is the key factor that links all these causes. Background. Crime mainly results from low self-control. Individuals who are impulsive, easily distracted, and seek immediate rewards are more prone to crime. Self-control to form is early in childhood. Parenting, supervision, discipline, support shapes self-control. Higher self-control reduces the likelihood of criminal behavior.
K theories. Michael Gottfredson. Focus on how crime opportunities influence behavior. So, Michael Gottfredson believed that crime happened mostly because people have easy opportunities to commit it. If a situation makes a crime quick, simple, and low risk, some people may take the chance, especially if they have a low self-control. In short, crime often occurs when there is tempting opportunities plus a person willing to take it. Travis Hershey emphasized social bonds, family, school, society. Highlighted the role of internal control and self-control in preventing crime. Travis Hershey believed that people avoid committing crime when they have strong social bonds like good relationship with family, involvement in school, and connection to their community. He said that these bonds helps to build self-control and inner discipline, which stop people from breaking rules. Main principles. First, low self-control, the main cause of crime. Main principles. First, low self-control, the main cause of crime. According to the general theory of crime, people commit crimes mostly because they have low self-control. This means they act on impulse, want immediate pleasure, and don't think about long-term consequence. They tend to seek quick rewards without considering the risk. When a person can stop themselves from acting on sudden urges, they are more likely to break rules or laws. Next is early development, formed in childhood. Self-control is developed during childhood, and it depends largely on parenting. Children learn self-control when parents supervise them, teach them right from wrong, and correct misbehavior. If a child doesn't receive proper guidance, discipline, or emotional support, they may grow up with weaker self-control. According to the theory, once a child reaches around age 8 to 10, their level of self-control is mostly set. And next is stability. Remains consistent over life. The theory suggests that a person's level of self-control stays fairly stable throughout life. Someone who has low self-control as a child is likely to carry those traits into their teenage years and adulthood. In other words, people don't usually grow out of low self-control. It becomes a long-lasting trait that affects their behavior over their whole life. Next is versatility. Leads to many risky behaviors. Low self-control is not only linked to crime, it's connected to many different risky or harmful behaviors. People who lack self-control often engage in things like fighting, using drugs, drinking too much, gambling, skipping schools, or driving recklessly. This means low self-control makes a person more likely to get into trouble in many areas, not just with the law. Lastly, role of opportunity. Crimes occurs when chances are available. Even if someone has low self-control, crime only happens when there is an opportunity. For example, an unlocked car, an unguarded wallet, or a chance to steal something without getting caught. When opportunities are easy and low risk, people with low self-control are more likely to take action. So crime is a combination of a willing person plus a tempting opportunity.
The real-life application of the general theory of crime. The story of BTK. Dennis Rader, known as BTK, bind, torture, and kill, was an American serial killer who terrorized Wichita, Kansas from the 1970s to the early 1990s. Despite appearing to live a normal life as a husband, father, and church leader, Rader secretly murdered at least 10 people, mostly women and their family members, using methods that involve binding, torturing, and then killing his victims. He often stalked his victims for weeks or months, learning their routines and waited for moments when they were alone to strike. Rader communicated with police and media over the years, sending letters and taunting them with details of his crimes, which heightened fear in the community. His crimes remained unsolved for decades until 2005, when he was finally caught after sending a floppy disk that investigators traced to his church computer. Rader confessed to all of his murders and was sentenced to 10 consecutive life terms without parole. His case is often studied in criminology because it shows that combinations of low self-control, thrill-seeking, lack of empathy, and careful planning, which can be connected to the general theory of crime. This is the fiction application of the general theory of crime. Rana was the treasurer of her class, but she often borrowed money from the class fund and failed to pay it back. According to the general theory of crime by Gottfredson and Hershey, crime or rule breaking happens when someone has low self-control and takes advantage of opportunities. In Rona's case, her impulsiveness, desire of immediate satisfaction, and lack of foresight show low self-control, while having access to the class fund gave her the opportunity to misuse it. The situation illustrates how even seemingly small offenses, like taking money from a class fund, can be explained by the same principles that apply to larger crimes: low self-control combined with available opportunity. So the general theory of crime states that low self-control shaped early by parenting leads to crime when opportunities arise. Strong social bond and self-discipline help prevent criminal behavior.